Recently, Jeffree Star made an appearance on both the canceled podcast with Tana and Brooke, as well as Trisha's podcast, Just Trish. Trisha has yet to drop her episode if she even chooses to, but Tana did drop hers. And Jeffree did dive into some topics about past drama, and his responses were tea. Jeffree talked about his past feud with Trisha, how he and Shane are now, and most notably, he discusses Dramageddon 2 and 3, and let's just say he is really trying to rewrite history. So, because Jeffree and Trisha filmed their own podcast episode together, they didn't dive too much into their feud on Canceled. But Tana asked about how he and Trisha were since she knows that the two of them have had a roller coaster of a friendship. Jeffree shares that they haven't seen each other in about 5 years or so. Then he goes on to say that there was never any drama between them, despite fans believing that there was.
Haven't seen her in almost 5 years.
And you're about to.
Yeah, but yeah, we haven't seen each other in a long time. I think a lot of her new fans think I'm the devil. Love that. But the OG fans that watched both of us knew that at the heart of it all, there was really no drama. It was just a lot of speculation and other people chiming in and just a lot of ugliness. But we had the best times together.
This was interesting to say the least because they very much were in drama. Trisha was hesitant to admit it because she was seemingly scared of Jeffree, but she did admit that she did have beef with him. They went on a Vegas trip together with some of Jeffree's other friends and staff, and she had a really horrible time. They were making fun of her skin, her hair, her weight, and so on. And they made her feel so bad about herself that she decided to leave early. And it was even confirmed that that was exactly what happened by people who were there. Everything that Trisha said happened seemed to happen, especially if Jeffree's own friends who were there could corroborate her story. There was definitely drama between them. It wasn't just fans speculating things. He's trying to pretend like none of this happened, and he's attempting to rewrite history. Tana also asked him when the last time he spoke to Shane was. Jeffree talks about how he and Shane released a successful conspiracy palette, and then they got canceled shortly after. He then says that he can't even remember why they even got canceled in the first place.
And then 5 years just blinked, right?
Yeah.
Me and him, we were both canceled. Can't even remember why that time.
Now let's get into Jeffree talking about Dramageddon. He already misremembered his feud with Trisha and his 2020 cancellation, and it gets worse when he talks about Dramageddon. So Dramageddon 2 happened when Tati dropped her Bi Sister video where she exposed James Charles for allegedly being a predator by being inappropriate with straight men. He was at the height of his career at the time, so this was huge. He and Tati were friends at the time until he supported a hair care gummy brand on his Instagram story for a Coachella pass, and that brand was a competitor to Tati's Halo Beauty hair care gummies. Tati felt betrayed by him, which prompted her to drop her video about him. James went through one of the worst cancellations ever and lost nearly 3 million subscribers. He lost 1 million of those subscribers in only 24 hours. Jeffree involved himself by tweeting, "There is a reason that Nathan banned James Charles from ever coming over to our home again. There's a reason why I haven't seen him since Tati's birthday in February. He is a danger to society. Everything Tati said is 100% true." Jeffree continued to bash James publicly and kept threatening to drop a video to expose him. This went on for about a week until he posted a video titled "Never Doing This Again," where he pretty much took everything back and said he wasn't going to add more fuel to the fire. Then not too long after, Jeffree and Shane put together a docu-series that documented the creation of their conspiracy palette. They took their viewers from the concept of the palette to the release. It was 7 parts and every episode got crazy views, and the palette sold out so fast. Then, as we know, Tati dropped her second video, Breaking My Silence, which started Dramageddon 3 and resulted in Shane and Jeffree getting exposed. In this video, she revealed that the reason she made Bi Sister was because Shane and Jeffree convinced her to make it. Shane had his infamous live stream which showed his true colors. He dropped that Notes app apology, and that led to people digging up his old offensive content. And just like that, both his and Jeffree's controversial past were being brought to light, and they were canceled. So, Tana asked Jeffree what made him move to Wyoming in 2020. Jeffree says that the final straw that made him move out of LA was all the toxic YouTube drama that was happening. He said it was too much for him and he wanted to go be at peace and away from all that, so he left LA.
It was crazy to finally leave and separate, but I think that all the drama with all the people in the crazy YouTube era was really like the final straw for me of like, all this is so toxic. I really want to go be at peace away from it all. I can work and come back whenever I want, but I don't want to be around any of that.
Yeah,
all of
100%.
it. It was all so crazy. It's a really wild journey, and I think a lot of people just know a lot of like half truths, and I think, you know, we lived it, so we really know the behind the scenes, and there's so many things that people don't need to know that happened before. It's
Later on in the video, he pretty much says that Dramageddon 3 was not only very hard for him, but also all lies, which is insane. Jeffree starts off by talking about Tati's second video and how it did so well, and how it hit the internet so hard. He addresses it by saying that in that era of YouTube drama, the lie was always more entertaining than the truth.
But also, like the YouTube drama era, the lie is always more entertaining than the truth.
He says that he doesn't think nor talk about what happened with that often, and that he's put it all behind him. He says that it was a very dark time for him. He asked Tana and Brooke why they think Tati's second video made the impact it did, and asked if they thought it was because everyone just wanted him and Shane to be the villains. Tana suggests that maybe it was because they were both at the top at the time, and people wanted to take those who were on the top down. Jeffree said that he and Shane were filming the docuseries for the conspiracy palette for nearly a year, so they didn't have time to ruin someone else's life on the side of everything else happening. He said that at that point, he and Shane were the most successful they had ever been in their entire lives, and they had so much exciting stuff going on that it wouldn't make sense for people to believe that they were the villains in the situation.
I think what was bizarre is me and Shane, and I've never even said this on camera before, we were busy filming the conspiracy documentary. We were filming for 10, 11 months. The fact that anyone believed that we were bored to try to ruin someone's life on the side when we're living our dreams, I couldn't believe I woke up and people believed I'm the villain for the 100th time.
He says that it wouldn't make sense for them to take down James, but during that time it was rumored that James was coming out with his own makeup brand soon, so people figured that Shane and Jeffree wanted to get rid of James to eliminate any competition. James was at the top and honestly could have maybe even outsold the conspiracy palette with his products. But Jeffree continues by saying that Tati is the worst person he has ever met. But he does kind of understand why she would go off on James like she did.
I think she's one of the worst people I've ever met, so I'm not trying to say anything for her. But it was more than the gummies. It was way more than that, and we were all spending a lot of time together. We learned a lot of things about it was just a lot of things, and me and Tati traveled with James, and we really saw.
Then Jeffree says that he was at the birthday dinner and sat right next to James, and Jeffree explains what happened at the birthday dinner from his point of view. He says that it was Tati's birthday dinner and there were a lot of her family members and non-YouTuber friends there. James was at the height of his career and he had a lot of money coming in, which he couldn't handle, and according to Jeffree, it turned him into a monster. So he was just saying a bunch of disgusting and crazy things.
No one ever heard my version. They just they saw Tati's video. And to me, it was that height of James's new fame, new money, going back crazy and not knowing how to handle it all, and it turned him turned him into a monster, or he already was that, and the money amplified it. And he really thought, I have money, you're gonna sleep with me. It was very disgusting. Doesn't matter who you were, you want him.
Jeffree says that they were all disgusted by what happened, and Tati figured that by posting a video to expose James, that was going to teach him a lesson and deplatform him to get his ego in check.
It had been weeks of buildup of the ego getting so dark and crazy, and just so many weird things and stories coming out to us and really bizarre things. And the dinner was him at his most disgusting. And there was a 19-year-old waiter who he tricked into his room later that night. And the guy said he wanted to leave. And James was like, I paid for this. You have to hook up with me. I bought the room. It was all just too much. And it just bubbled up crazy. And we all flew home just horrified by this person, disgusted. And I think she really felt like in her heart that exposing him as a alleged and all these things was going to teach him a lesson and remove him from the platform.
He also goes on to say that the only reason people wanted to take him and Shane down were because they were so successful after the docuseries and selling out their palette.
And we're over here like we just launched the biggest makeup collection in makeup history. The most palettes sold in 1 hour, in one day, me and Shane Dawson. What? Two dudes? Like that's so crazy and beautiful. And the documentary, the second one, right? Both of them were such massive hits. And I couldn't believe they wanted me and Shane to be the villain.
Jeffree was apparently shocked that people even believed what Tati was accusing them of, even though what Tati was accusing them of did make sense. Shane and Jeffree banked on the drama, and if Tati hadn't taken down James, then their palette probably wouldn't have done as well as it did. James was competition to them. He also went on to say that after Tati dropped her video, he took a few weeks off. He was confused because, in his words, he didn't know what he did wrong, he's not a bad person, he didn't try to take down James, he hadn't talked to Tati in months, and James manipulated Tati into thinking that Shane and Jeffree were behind everything to get back at them.
I took a few weeks off and was like, wait, what did I do?
Yeah.
I'm not a bad person. I didn't try to take down James Charles. I haven't talked to Tati in months. He weaseled his way back in, got her to make a video about us to try to get back at us.
Oh, you think he was behind video 2?
Yeah, that's what she's told people. Yeah, that he manipulated her. These people are so twisted.
He continued on some more to say that Tati told people that James manipulated her into making a second video. Jeffree kept going on and on about how he had no part in it and how it wouldn't make sense for them to be a part of it because they were so successful. Oh, and he also said that he would never review James's makeup brand Painted because it's a ripoff of Patrick Ta and Tom Ford's packaging. He also calls it boring. But yeah, I think it's bold of Jeffree to lie about him and Shane having no part in James's takedown when it would make sense for them to be a part of it. James was competition to them. They wanted him out. Shane also wanted the drama to be in his docuseries, but decided last minute to cut it and complained about everyone wanting to see it.